Hello? Finally. Hello? Right. Just checking some things, but I think I'm gonna start now. I've been trying to start for so long, it's been ridiculous. Just nothing wants to work. So yeah. I know I've been needing to do one of these for a very long time, but August has been extremely hard. You'll have no idea what I mean. Right, so this is one of the first worlds. This is the one we made after the first world me and my friend made. So this world is kind of full of like beta stuff. This is one of my personal favourite worlds, and to be honest, I think I'm going to be spending most of my time here anyway, because it's one of like the busiest as well. I don't want my camera on today, I'm just not feeling up to anything. The amount of shit I feel is unreal. But yeah. Very sad as of late, so I've just not been able to do anything. Spent most of the day sleeping, so just not been doing anything. Right, what I did earlier has been undone, so I'm going to have to redo the whole thing. It wasn't a lot. I don't care. So yeah, I've got a Switch next to me so I can watch TV as I'm doing stuff. But what I'm going to do is, my plan is I'm going to put all this area, all this land, underwater. Just like make divots and holes every so often. And just, yeah. Gonna make some sea monsters, some fish, octopus, stuff like that, all around. I'm gonna keep doing it until I lose interest in it. I just lost interest in Minecraft completely because not only did I fall out with my friend, but I just didn't want to do anything. I just felt so inspired to do anything. I played Minecraft a couple of times, like by myself, but with stuff not working and just feeling downright depressed recently, I just didn't want to do anything at all. Been playing Pokemon a lot more, shiny hunting. Just had no luck with my tree. After Phantom, I've hatched over 1,000,000 eggs, killed over 1,000 of them, still not a zip, nothing. I've got the shiny charm, so I don't understand. I'm playing sword, by the way, shield and sword. Move, pig. But I need to keep active and do stuff for my own sake and sanity, so I just trying to do this. I'll have to stop a second just to run and get... I didn't get a drink ready, and I feel like a dumb because I didn't. So I'm gonna go and run and do that in a sec when I get the feeling back in my foot. And then I've got some stuff to talk about which I've been fairly interested in, so that'll be fun. I'm also going to put something on my Switch to watch while I work. I've been following a new streamer, which has been fun. He plays Pokemon on Twitch every so often. Well, he has been. It's like Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday he's done. But I think he picks and chooses whether it is Sunday or not. But anywho, he picks and chooses, which is nice because it's sort of like, oh, it's a bit of a surprise. But because he's not being nasty, saying he's not that popular, he ain't got that many people on his thing. People of the community get to actually play, and it's not like unreasonable. Like some big time Pokemon streamers will be so busy that they don't have space, and it's like you're lucky if you get on his team or not. And when you're shining hunting, you just want to have the same team. You just want to have efficiency. So that's definitely one thing. So I'll be right back. Can I pause it? Can I pause the stream? I can. I have returned. Sorry for that, but keeping hydrated takes priority of everything. I have got my little Costa cup, which I have a strawy lid and a container, or plastic, but it's nice because it's like a moderate sized cup, but I like putting water and Vento in it. So yeah, we're going to turn all this space into water, and I'm going to dig patches out so it's all like different levels of depth. I think, no, I'm not going to bother digging anything out. I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to dig it 1 square deep, but any deeper than that, I'm going to have to start interacting with the floor. That's probably going to trigger people. Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what I was going to say. So there's been a list of Pokemon stuff, interesting news that I'm really happy about. I wholeheartedly wish I could stream Pokemon on my YouTube channel, because you can guarantee I'd never not be streaming, and I won't be able to decide whether I should stream to Twitch or YouTube. And I even debate this with Minecraft. Should I stream on Twitch, because I have that power, or should I stream on YouTube? And I was even debating, but I like my YouTube channel, so it was like, but I might jump to Twitch for a little while and see what happens. I'm trying to pour a massive bottle into another massive bottle, and the holes are like as big as your pinky finger, so it's like, yay, this is gonna end up great. Okay, I'm gonna call that enough. Cardio and Vinto. Wait, no, Vinto Cardio. I like Cardio. I don't like fizzy. There's only one drink, well, two that I'll go fizzy, and that's every so often cola and Christ. And I like every so often, you know what it is. My TVs have decided to turn themselves on. I only wanted one on. P-Line Punch, the pink monster drink. That drink is awesome. I love it so much. I'll get started in a sec. I'm just trying to pour myself a drink. Into a drink. There you go, you get water. Here's some more. Okay, now I've done that. I love the Pokemon news. I've been following someone and he was talking about, what was it now? Pokemon eggs. I cannot wait for there to be a better system. But how he was saying it, and he said, because it's being translated, was it would like take an hour off just for an egg to hatch. So he says for business people it's great, but I was like, business? An hour and a half? You're shining hunting. Do you know how many eggs people go through and count as lucky? You can have, like, I had over 150 eggs for one of mine, and I counted that as extremely lucky. So if he's counting, like, you have to go for about 150 eggs for every hour and a half, or every hour or 2 hours. Is that a joke? How is that beneficial? Unless you're more guaranteed shiny luck, the more eggs you go through, so like you do eggs. God, 10 hours, you've only done 10 eggs. I was reading on Facebook, someone counted 70 eggs as lucky. So what the heck is this? I'm just trying to pick something to watch, but I can't pick. Yeah, I might go and start recording on Twitch sometimes and see how well it goes, because I majorly want to do on YouTube. I do YouTube stuff. Well, the Pokemon cards, so I don't really need to do stuff like this. But for today, definitely, I'll sort it out on Twitch. I may do the next video on Twitch. It's just, because I may do it later on in the evenings as well, because I'm less likely to be disturbed at night. As long as I personally don't make too much noise, I'm fine. Just trying to pick a video to watch. Actually, I'll put on a thing I need to watch anyway, because I've been meaning to go and watch it. But I'm gonna have to see how loud it is, because I don't want, obviously, getting in trouble for watching another YouTuber's content on my own. Anyway, they need to make a better way of lists. So this is 2. Did I finish one? Yes, I did. No views. That's hard to believe. I don't know what that loud noise is. I think it's my fan. I'm going to move it away a bit. I think it's my fan. I'm going to move it away a bit. Yeah, it's gone now. Now, how's the volume for the TV? Yeah, it's gone now. Now, how's the volume for the TV? Yeah, it's gone now. Now, how's the volume? Yeah, it's gone now. Go Simulator looks good. I can't tell with the echo. Sorry if it sounds awful. I virtually don't know how to fix it. Because I'm literally just recording with the streaming software. The PlayStation gives me it, but I want to watch stuff, so. That noise is awful. That noise is awful. I don't know what it is. That noise is awful. Is it still there? Yeah, it's not as bad now. It must be because of the feedback of the mic. Well, I can't have the TV any lower, and I want to watch these, so. I might just watch a video instead. I like this, so I know what I'm up to. Fucking controllers, man. Try doing anything and it never blooming works. Safest bet, just go on that chill video channel strip. Never buy a controller that's worth 20 quid. Guarantee it doesn't work. Anyway, getting just started because I might as well. I'll have to pick something to watch or try and get it so the sound will thingy, but without, you'll always be able to hear it in the back, so it's sort of, I can't literally not have the sound come through, obviously. The only way I could figure that out is if I wear headphones, because I could Bluetooth, which is an idea. 1 second. Most of today is just trial and error anyway, so if I don't get started till a while, then that's fine, because I'm still going to be recording. I'm going to be recording for quite a while anyway. Hopefully that was to my Switch. Right, I should be good now. No one should be able to hear what I'm watching, so I shouldn't get in shit for copyright. All I can hear is Minecraft, so that's fine. I'll be a second, sorry. Yeah, I'm just trying to work out the kinks for everything, because if I'm going to be on Twitch, I want to be knowing what I'm doing. Because more likely there actually is going to be people watching me. I need to swap that button. So majorly how I've been doing, and why I've not been recording is due to the fact, I don't know if I've already said, but I'll say again, I fell out with my friend, so it's just me on the server now, which is super sad. I'm not going to destroy or get rid of, I've got rid of some of the things she made due to the fact they were in the way, like there was pixel arts in the front. And as much as I liked just a random floating eyeball in the middle of nowhere, and a big TikTok logo, I didn't want them in the way for future builds, so I removed them because I don't have to ask her. I was planning on asking her before, but, well, she dropped me like a brick, so I'm not even thinking about that, and I'm not even getting upset about it because I've been there, done that. She absolutely totaled my birthday because, not going into too much detail, but she promised and then didn't even have the decency to tell me she couldn't even turn up, even though for the last 4 days she said she would. So yeah, that's how my birthday ended up. While I was doing the Pokemon card recording, I was actually quite happy then, because it was like, oh, it was fine, nothing was wrong. I wasn't aware of how bad it was going to end up. After the Pokemon news and the recording, it ended up pretty much going downhill from there, to the point where I just didn't want to even do anything. But my mum made me come out, my partner made me come out, so I ended up having a decent afternoon, even though I was very, very, very sad most of the time I was doing anything. So I just wanted to get on with everything. I'm gonna pause this because I can't talk and concentrate, so when I'm being quiet I'll talk, but at the second I'm gonna let it. So yeah, I was just not feeling playing this at all. And then it just got to the point where I just felt uninspired to do anything. But at the moment now, it's like I'm physically feeling dead completely. I don't want to play Pokemon as much as I want because it's just stressful and it's annoying me, the fact that I've gone through so many eggs, so many battles, and I've still not got it, nor... And this is the third Pokemon in a row to do this, where I've had to go through over 1 million eggs, 1 million battles, and I've still not gotten any luck. And it's just winding me up, so I'm taking a break, and I'll go back to it when on a later date when I feel like I'm not going to punch my TV. Anyway, beside that, I just wanted to get back into this, because I am paying for this server to be up. Admittedly, what we're playing on now, is a server so people could join if they wanted. I don't know if I want people just off YouTube or anything to just hop in, because I like sort of an order I have. So even though my friends and family, well, I'll just say family because that's not happening anymore, will come online. It's... random people making passing comments is annoying in the corridor. Completely lost my train of thought now. It's just depressing doing anything nowadays. Don't know what to do, don't know what to do at all. And I know the age-old argument of, oh, you're old enough now, you should get a job and shit. Well, I kinda do. That's the thing, but I feel like I don't. sorry again. I keep losing my train of thought. I'm really bad at talking. That's why I said I more need to do this, because I just can't talk at the moment. I just don't want to do anything, and practically my job is to, like, I'm a carer, so I look after my brother, technically, and I get paid to do that, so technically I don't need a job, because I'd lose the money I get for looking after him if I did. So it's just like trying to find stuff to keep you entertained daily is difficult, and especially when you don't have much money to do anything is difficult. And it's just trying to keep motivated to even, like, get up in the morning is so difficult. So, just at home, and like I said, even, like, me personally, I haven't got a good setup. I haven't got a good know-how on, like, computers and that to actually sort of persuade my old-fashioned parents to buy me a better computer so I can actually get started on the world. I can't do anything. All I've got is I'm at the mercy of what PlayStation has for its streaming service, which I'm grateful to PlayStation for even having this. I wish to the gods Switch had this, but I know they never will. Xbox sadly doesn't have this, but I don't even play Xbox. I own one, and I would play Sea of Thieves given the option, but with the people I used to play it with, one lost interest. The others I lost contact with completely because I wasn't allowed to talk to them due to stupid girlfriends. And it's just difficult trying to just find anyone. And then I had her, but like I said, she dropped me like a ton of bricks. So now I'm just sat trying to figure anything out on my own, and it's just hard. And then trying to make time to do this because my mum's so keen on me doing shit with her, even though I've even said, well, I want to do stuff, but it's not like I have time to myself. And because everyone's unpredictable in sort of like living their own life, like obviously it's weekend, so now my dad's in the shower, so now I can hear his music. But it's like, I don't know. It's just so hard to talk. I've never actually voiced it before, but I feel like this might actually help me sort of get over the fact of, like, realise what I'm supposed to do. And just basically doing a mundane task of digging out all this land is going to take forever, so it's just trying to figure it out. But it's just trying to rationalise, like, how everything is, sort of how it is, or why it is. It's like, it's so difficult, because I feel like it's so... You sort of, if I lived in a different country or sorts, it's like I might be better off because I'd have more to do. But I'm not in a different country. I'm in the UK, in a city district. Well, it's sort of like a small town area, but it's city living. So if I was like, I don't know, near more where tourists go, then there'd be slightly more to do because there's like arcades, which I enjoy. There's the beach. There'd be more jobs around that are just doing little things, which would be easier. But for where I live, it's either you do go big or you go home, and it's even harder because it's like, what do you do as a job when you don't want one? Not only have you got social communication disorder, which is what I've technically got, autism, so it's really hard to sort of think, and I know I can't use it as an excuse entirely, because people have done big things and still got autism and that, but it's just hard and different for everyone, and people cope with it in different ways. So it's just trying to figure out sort of your normalcy, because you can't even say be normal and do what everyone else does, because the normal is to get a job, get a car, get a house, get a family, da 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 da, but that's not always the normal. For, like, people that are ill, it's sort of like, there isn't a normal, because everyone's sort of different and you can do what you want. Some people don't want a family, some people be alone and are happy with what they have. Some people want to spend all their money on silly stuff and just do nothing in particular. It's just hard, and it's somewhat like TV definitely doesn't help because it's like it drives in the normal of what you're supposed to do. Because if you haven't got a family and you don't have a job and you just sit around doing nothing, you're classed as something, and it's not always a positive thing. They class you as. So it's really upsetting on like TV when you're watching it, and it's like it's not your fault that you can't drive or you can't get a job. Sometimes you just can't find the one that's right for you. So instead of just dealing with it, like me, sort of just going out there and getting a job that I'm not happy with and then hurting myself constantly and just being miserable doing that, I don't need to get one because, well, I get money given to me for just one, being poorly, and two, technically I care for my brother, so that's a job in of itself. Even though my brother doesn't need that much help, so I'm just here to sort of help my mum out because she does have a job. Admittedly, not a massive one. My dad has a job which keeps him away all week, so that's that. So it's usually just either me and my brother, but my brother's just sits to himself playing Minecraft in his room anyway. But he prefers more survival, where I like create, so it's hard to sort of like get him involved because he's so afraid of upsetting me in the process that he just doesn't get involved at all. Which I've tried to explain that that's not the case, and I'm more upset the fact that he won't engage with me at all is the more the issue at hand rather than the fact that he's afraid, because I'd rather him, to be honest, on a serious note of it, is I don't know whether I'd rather him engage and upset me or rather him not engage and I wouldn't know if he'd upset me at all, because he has engaged with me before and then he's upset me and I haven't wanted to speak to him at all, to the point where it's like, oh, I could care less and I'd rather be alone. But I'm sorry, but when you're truly alone and you've got no one at all, it's hard. Because you're like, why do I bother getting up in the morning? What's my purpose being here at all if I have nothing? Because they drive in that normal factor so much that you need to get a job and sort of get successful, that it sort of makes you feel pathetic now when you haven't got a job and you've got like no purpose. Like if I could get into full-time, I'd feel so much happier and better about myself because I have a purpose. But because I don't, and then I can't, because literally I tried to sort of, because I don't understand like paying thousands for a computer that, one, I don't really truly understand how to use, and it's not like I could just run to someone and ask them how to use it. You sort of just figure it out yourself. But that's the thing, I've got to then explain and show that paying $4,000 for a computer is worthwhile to people who are like, if that £120 computer is good, then why spend over more than a house on a piece of trivial tech? But trying to explain it to people when you fully don't understand the concept yourself is so difficult. Hello, as well, sorry. It's just so difficult to explain to someone who doesn't really understand about them. And it's like, which computer's best to buy to start streaming on? I basically want to just stream console games like Pokemon and Minecraft. I don't really need a computer with high spec to do this, surely. Because my £120 computer can stream Pokemon, but there is big stuttery gaps which I can't get rid of. The sound won't come through both, meaning that I can't hear it, but you can. But that's boring. I want to be able to hear it too, especially if I'm experiencing a game live. Like, I had so many big plans to play Diamond and Pearl, and I had Legends Arceus banners already made for when it was done, but I lost interest in it. Then I got depressed with it, and then it just didn't work when I went back to it. Something had changed in the software and it just wouldn't record with sound, and I couldn't hear anything. So playing Scarlet and Violet like that would be absolutely devastating. And especially if the ending result is it looks trash as well and it's all stuttery and mess. That's devastating. So I just don't understand how to do it. PlayStation sets it all for you. It does the recording software, it plays the sound for you. All you need to do is press go and it's all set. I wish Nintendo did that too, but I highly doubt it because there's no money to be made in it. I'm surprised PlayStation even lets you stream like this, but I'm grateful because of it. It's just so difficult to sort of just simplify it to someone who has no idea, because my parents are pretty, like, going now, so it's like, it's just so hard to try and explain it to us. Being rude here, 60 and a 50-year-old, but there's sort of like, it's so hard because some understand, some are tech savvy, but these are just setting the motions and setting the track, so it's sort of trying to get them to sort of have a big spend when, one, you don't have the money, they don't have the money either. I mean, it's just so difficult. So I'm just happy I can get even Minecraft, but like I said, I'm not really the one who plays major games. I play Pokemon, Minecraft, but most of the games I play are Switch, but even then, that's limited to this, because this world was originally made on the PS5, but most of the other worlds are paid for on the Switch. Like, this software, funny enough, is built on the Switch, just in case I can't get to the PlayStation, which is common occurrence because the controllers, I always misplace them. Because I played VR chat for a long time as well. I enjoyed that for ages. But they've ruined that game because most of the good people now that were on VR chat that used to talk to just suddenly never online. And when I asked them if they would, they said they'd never probably come back because they've changed it and ruined it. Which is so devastating because I enjoyed karaoke and stuff like that in VR chat. Because I didn't really play it. There's loads of games, never touched them. Like, there's like, you can play a murder game where you are where there's a bunch of people in a house and one's a killer and you've got to chase everyone, and you've got to either listen, see if you know what I'm talking about, because this game's quite popular on there. So if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know. There's a game where there's a cop, a detective, and a killer, and there's also about 4 or 5 sort of pedestrians or whatever, random people that don't have jobs. Your point as the killer is to try and kill as many people or all the people without getting caught by the detective or the cop. But if you can kill them, you win. That game is very popular on VR chat. I played it a bunch of times, but never sort of understood how popular it was, because I played it and it was boring. Because once you were like sort of the detective or the killer, I was never quick enough at figuring out, because you'd get people that would just jump the gun. Because if you didn't understand like the rules, because there was a chart right at the beginning, but obviously if you were only a small group, you wouldn't have a chance to read it, especially if they weren't all your friends. So you'd ask them to wait, but they wouldn't. Guarantee. Then there was also Among Us. Sorry, I'm eating a cake because I'm talking. Among Us VR was good, because it's general set, obviously what you expect from Among Us. It was Among Us, but in VR, so it was just really interesting, because you were actually running around. And the amount of fear I had just running away from a little child, yes, a child, I don't care, because they were the killer and trying to kill me, it was hysterical. But when you don't really understand the rules and you socially don't want to speak to sort of everyone in the room to explain it to you because you feel stupid, because this kid's 5 years old, he can play it fine and he understands it better than anyone, but I've never played it, so how would I know what the rules are if I've never played it, even if a child understands it? It's just stupid. So I played that, and I got that, and I had a few fun games with like random people, mostly children, because VR chat doesn't have a filter on age, and you can just lie, because all you have to have is a Facebook account to be able to join, which you should be over 18, but I digress, because people are stupid and bad parents. But even that got lackluster, because not only did I lose interest because they ruined the software by getting rid of all the mods that people enjoyed using, but my controller started to get drift on it, and it's like 90 quid to replace this controller. So it's like, once you get in drift, you're either forced to seat your character so you don't fly around the room. But it's just so annoying, because it's like, you're supposed to be free, but due to the obvious cause of drift, you can't be free because you're restricted. So it's just depressing. So I played that for ages and got confident enough that it was nice to just relax with these people. I met a few friends, spoke to some people, but I called some of them friends, because they recognised me and would come and sit with me and talk to me while I was there. But I stayed there for ages, and I kept checking if any of them were coming online, and they never came back. It was like 2 weeks I kept checking. I even had a membership I was paying so I could have extra avatars sort of thing. But I didn't use it. It was like £8, so like, that's it's like $10, give or take, the price I'm paying roughly. So it's like, what's the point in paying all that money out? I could be buying another membership, or I could be doing something a hell of a lot better with my time. But it's like, I just don't. It's just dumb. I don't know, so I just stopped playing that. So my social interaction went down, because that was one of the major ways I got out and spoke to people. Because the benefits of it is I didn't have to leave my house. So a lot of my aches and pains that I get, don't have to deal with them, because I'm sat down. And to everyone else's view, I'm not just sat on my floor or lying in bed. I'm communicating and interacting with people, which I loved, and that was one of my major selling points why I bought the console. But when it just got drift on the controller, it was just so depressing that I just didn't want to play it anymore. Hello. That delay of that telling me someone's coming is so slow, because I noticed, as soon as it popped up, I looked at my phone, and it said 1, so clearly the person just came in, dipped for a second, and then left. So God knows anything. Anyway. So I've been trying to watch different series, or whatever the word is. Different shows. I'm gonna say shows so I don't trigger people. On like Netflix, Crunchyroll, Disney Plus. Yes, I have a lot. And I've been watching them. I have just finished Sandman from Netflix. Great. Need to lay off on the making out sessions though. God damn it. If your relationship is only built on that, then clearly there's an issue with either you or your partner. But if you're happy with that, then good to you. But to me, it just seems like it's a waste of time. But that's just me and my different views on it. Anyway, but I tried watching today, I was that bored. I tried watching She-Hulk. My God, I wouldn't waste anyone's time. She is so big-headed and so up her own thingy that she just made normal Hulk look like an absolute joke. And not only was she taller than him in her sort of like little phase, as she belittled him to say, but suddenly she was perfect at doing everything, to the point where, she could jump like him on the first time. She didn't have to fight with her second persona like he did for 10 years. She could do everything perfect first time. She was more bendy than him, more flexible. She could throw things further, she could hit better. And it wasn't like, because he was even saying, with the power you've got, you can use it to help people and to sort of, you need to be responsible for it. But she's like, okay, when can I go? And she's like, she's so wrapped up in her own job that she was like, I don't really care about what you have to say. Even though he's been fighting with it like most of his life. He's lost people and had to fight all his life to control something that was forced upon him. And I know it was forced upon her, but it was an accident, and at least she's had a guiding hand. He's been terrified having to figure all this out on his own, and he's been willing to give up his time to help her and sort of guide her. And then she's just basically smearing it all over the floor. So I watched like 20 minutes of it, and then like, screw this. As soon as she turned around and said, I don't really care on your views, you do you, I'm better than you, clearly, I turned it off and just went, I'm not watching this anymore. She's physically making me sick. This show's made for Karens, clearly. And the people who are liking this, every Disney movie has to be a lead bloody woman role. Because I'm noticing it and I'm hating it. I miss a movie where the main protagonist was a man. I never knew I'd miss it, because I didn't even realise it was such a thing. But ever since sort of Disney's pushing this agenda, that women empowerment crap, it's so annoying watching these movies, because I'm like, Encanto, lead woman. Moana, lead woman. What was it called now? Last Dragon, 2 women. So it's like, so many women icon shows now. It's disgusting. And I'm hating it myself. Making men look like idiots and the women are all superior, where clearly, I won't say men or women are superior of each other or equals. Because what women can't do, men can do, and that was always the thing, and what women can't do, men can do. We're meant to even each other out and be equals, not superior or standard. Because men have it just as rough as women sometimes, if not more often. Not going into any dirty details, but yeah, like cycles of, you know what, women get them once a month, men have to deal with shit every morning. So it's like, the logic of it is flawed, and I know women have to have kids, which is a pain, but dealing with shit isn't exactly easy. I don't know, I think we both have it bad, and I'm on equal terms, that everyone should be treated equally. But that'll never fucking happen. Not with the Karens about. It's so stupid, all this political stuff. It's sort of ruining the magic of any Disney movie completely. Just the fact that it's always a lead woman in the last few movies has been disgusting. I mean, even in the new superhero Pets or whatever it's called, the new Superdog movie that's come out recently, why'd they have Green Lantern a woman? Green Lantern's never been a woman, but suddenly woman. Not that I have an issue, but it was like, hello. It just seemed weird. Can't remember now what I was saying. Yeah, I can't remember what I was saying now. I lost track. Crumbs. Oh, I've been watching all Cartoon Network shows. That's been good. I really want them to sort of fix Cartoon Network, because I don't know if anyone's seen the problems with HBO Max recently. Things like Infinity Train, OKKO, and Mau Mau, and Uncle Grandpa are all at risk of being lost to the ether forever. And it's just unfair. The amount of pain and hours animators have put in, and now they're going to lose out on a load of money. or because of the fact this company is going down, and apparently they're taking these beautiful shows with it. And don't get me wrong, Uncle Grandpa wasn't one of my personal favourite shows. I watched it enough, but I didn't really enjoy it. Like Apple and Onion can go, but I'm not being nasty completely due to the fact it's a show someone's put their heart and soul into. Someone clearly loved this show enough to make it and work on it as long as they did. And as a fellow artist, I can humbly say it's good in a way, but it's not something that I'm interested in. Like, I want to see Villainous. I watch the shorts that are on YouTube enough to know that every line, even in Spanish, even though I have absolutely no idea what they're saying. Well, actually, I do know what they're saying. But if you asked me to repeat any of it, I'd tell you, I'd just laugh at you. It's just sad, because I really want these good cartoons to sort of show themselves, because Villainous is so good. And it has so much potential, because it's just going back to old Cartoon Network. It's not like it's a new concept, it's sort of like, it's this new thing that's appeared. Evil Con Carne is the exact same thing. Because they've even got a bear as one of, like, the main experiment sort of trope. I haven't seen Evil Con Carne very well to sort of... I need to watch that, just so I know, because maybe it'll help me happy, like, for the fact that I can't watch Villainous proper. But I've been enjoying it regardless. I love the fandom around Villainous. They're so good, some of the fans. Cause I mean, there was an Instagram set up for a few of the characters, and the Blackout one was very funny. Apparently he was offended to be compared to Slenderman, and that was very funny. Put me in tears for ages. They're just like... It's just so happy, some of the stuff. And the art is coming from it is beautiful as well. Because most of the time, it's not the games or the concepts of the game I like. Like, Five Nights at Freddy's, don't really like the game. But I love the fandom. Like, the music that came from it. My Little Pony's in the same box. Sure, I could take it or leave it. But the music that came from it... Like, I might butcher this. Living Tombstone, Discord. Amazing. Manda Pony's music. It's just like there's so much good music out there that was made by just like trivial things. Like some My Little Pony stuff is just wow. Because I love Discord, even though I don't really like My Little Pony, but I had to buy, as soon as I saw it, there was an ornament of Discord sat on a throne drinking a milkshake. I bought that as soon as I saw it, and I loved it. And I've still got it with me now. It's on top of my chair. It's so good that I couldn't just leave it. And I didn't even like the show. It's for kids, clearly. But that character was so well done. And even though, you gotta say that even if it is a kid's show, there's some damn good music in that show. Like, not even just the fan stuff. Some of the songs, like, I remember the Equestria Games. Some of the songs in that movie were amazing. Some of the music from the series was amazing. I'm just trying to think of a song. Best one to pick is probably the song from the movie, the one that Tempest sings. Open Your Eyes or something like that it's called. Yeah, that song is so cool because it's such a villain-empowered song. Because if it really is, if I had to pick a banner of what, if I had to be in a cartoon world, would I be a hero or villain? Definitely villain. Because it just seems like more fun choices. And a hero, oh, you loved, oh, you do things. Yeah, you love till the moment you do something slightly wrong and then you're seen as the monster. Yeah, no thanks, don't want stress. I'd rather just sit on my bum and do nothing. If no one cares about you, then no one's going to be disappointed if you don't do anything. So that'd be a cool thing to do. Just make a world where it's filled with villains and everyone's making contraptions to take over it and fighting each other. In a nice way. That'd be cool. Because if you notice when people... Oh, wrong button. I'm used to my Switch. Because if you notice when people do any, like, personas as things on YouTube, Markiplier's there, Darkiplier, the evil Jacksepticeye, people do evil personas, because what are they? They're cool, they're interesting, they demand attention. That's why villains better than heroes in a sense, because they demand more attention. Cause people want to know what made them go so far to fall down this hole that they'd be willing to not only risk their whole life to this agenda that they just want to sort of fall apart. I keep losing track when people jump in and out. If I stay or go, I can take it or leave it. Just stop telling me. I'm just really happy to see, like, cartoons that because I'm fully on the bus with old Cartoon Network, like Foster's, Kids Next Door, even Camp Lake Bottom was good. Billy and Mandy, majorly. Billy and Mandy was like one of my childhoods. When I think of my childhood, it's Billy and Mandy and Pokemon, majorly. That show with the premise on me liking sort of the eerie stuff. And even Ed, Ed and Eddie and the original, I'm going to say this, original Powerpuff Girls and Teen Titans. These new ones, they're awful. The new Powerpuff Girls was awful. And you can tell how awful it is because I've not even seen it on TV in ages. Because they don't even have it on the network anymore, I don't think. I think it lasted about a year because they were doing that. They brought out Teen Titans, that was successful, and then they did Powerpuff Girls and it bombed because I've not seen it since. Not only that, but they got rid of all like the really good stuff that made Powerpuff Girls sort of funny. Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog is another one that you'll never see brought back. Because the thing is with like Billy and Mandy, Ed, Ed and Eddie, Powerpuff Girls in general, there's stuff in them that they got away with in the early days that they won't be able to get away with now because they're too sort of wrapped around the book. Because him wasn't in the new series that I saw, and if they did, they nerfed him completely. And if they did Billy and Mandy and Ed, Ed and Eddie, they'd nerf it completely because there were so many inappropriate things in that. So if ever Cartoon Network ever talks about rebooting them, I think I'd be one of the saddest people around because they'd ruin it completely. They'd nerf it. They'd do what they've done to Teen Titans. And I don't know if anyone even remembers. Original Teen Titans was amazing. It was so good. Like, the writing was good. The jokes were funny. It was kiddie, but that's the thing. It's for kids. You can't say it's childish because it's for kids. So you just gotta deal with it. But it was really good. Some of the things were really clever, and I loved Raven, was always my favourite. But in this new series, they've just made them a joke. And I know this series is not to be taken seriously, but when I first started watching it, when it first came out, the new Teen Titans, I actually enjoyed it for a little while. But when it just felt like it was just either taking the mick or just repeating the same crap, it just got so to the point of, I feel like I'm not watching sort of this TV's for like, I don't know, 7 and up or 6 and up. The fact that it felt like I was watching something for toddlers just annoyed me further because it's like the attention span of. I just felt like not being insulting because I use TikTok, but it just felt like I was watching a bunch of TikTok clips. Because they're that short, but the jokes are the same thing repeatedly. Like, if I have to hear one more time the joke about that Waffles song that they did once in Series 1, the thing that pushed me over the edge to the point where I stopped liking it was where they actually had an episode where they were redubbing over the original first episode, and they were basically just taking the mick out of it completely. After I saw that, I stopped enjoying it at all, and I just refused to watch it after that. Whenever I saw it on, I made sure I just turned it off. Because there's one thing about making something and then ruining it. Breaking something and then taking the mick out of its sort of the thing that made it won't be here without it. Because you never take... The thing is with when they do reboots and sort of originals, you can never beat the original. Because the original is always the first one where it started. Like, if you look at my YouTube channel myself, most of my paintings, like the first ones from so many years ago, they're awful. My personal opinion, if I had to say it, they're awful. But I won't delete them because it showed the stages of my development. This was how I started, and this is where I am now with the later stuff. And admitted that I don't draw that much anymore. That hopefully will change at Christmas, because I hear I'm maybe getting an iPad, so them could be returning, which I will cry if it does. But it's just so annoying nowadays, just trying to do the littlest things. And then I'm just so worried about like how life goes, because it's like I was having a conversation with my partner again last night, how PlayStation's getting sued because they're ripping people off, which I can agree with, because I don't know if anyone's seen the Plus membership packages now. There's about 3 different memberships, and they either join in Play, which no longer exists anymore, which YouTube, PlayStation, I'm saying the name wrong, whatever, the one where you could play all the old games again, that is in the package, but it's just so, how they've done it is stupid. I just don't understand why they've done it in such a way, because it's like $100 a month just to play old PlayStation games, and there aren't even that many there. There's like 50 games, and none of them are like what people want to play. Because like, if I think of PS1, I'm thinking, oh, the original Spyros, I had Donald Duck Quack Attack was one of my games that I had on PS1. Trying to think that far back is difficult. I'm thinking more PS2 now. I can't think of any. I didn't have many PS1 games that I can think of off the tip of my head because it was so long ago. But I know I had Quack Attack. I had a Barbie game, which I don't know what it was, but it was like Jungle Barbie. There was the Spyros. I can't remember. I'm going to have to look up a list of old PS1 games and see what actually I played. Cause I more remember GameCube, and even then, but PlayStation are offering games that are like PS3, so it's like not even that far away, and even then, they're charging tooth and nail for it. I'm using that term wrong, but they're charging an arm and a leg for it, so it's like, what? Who's gonna pay for this? It's physically and unreasonably expensive, because then you look at Xbox Game Pass. Any new game that comes out, majority comes out on the Game Pass, which is depressing to some... Feel sorry for some developers, because that means if anyone gets the Game Pass, they can have it, so that's one payment, and all that money goes to Xbox. Admittedly, they'll get a cut of the money, but not as much as they would have done if they were selling it for a box standard 30 or 60 nowadays. But then get Switch, and of course I'm going to be... Switch is the best, because I prefer Nintendo over any of these. But it is I can even say with full-heartedly that not only is there more games to play on the Switch, but they actually go back and they let you have, when you play monthly, they let you have the emulators, which you can go back and play on the NES, Nintendo 64. You can play on it. You can play on the old Sega Genesis and the other Segas. You can play them as long as you pay the online membership, but that's fine, because that's like £45 a year. It's for a month. No, for 3 months it's £85 on PlayStation. So when I'm getting 45 quid for the best package, and not only that, but most online DLCs, such as the Animal Crossing and Mario Kart, you get with the 45 quid as long as you pay it. But 45 quid a year? How could you say no to that? And that means you get all the emulators, and you also get discounts off games. So it just seems stupid that PlayStation's charging so much for something that they don't need to charge that much. Cause I always thought £65 a year was too expensive. Now it's like £185 for similar, but less in a way, because they've got rid of loads of stuff. And not only that, but GTA has also started charging a membership. God, you make any money, it's all bled dry. No one's even going to have enough to buy box standard games. Cause I'm debating on what to get Hogwarts Legacy. I'm debating what I should get that on, but I don't know if it's coming out on Switch. But if it is, I'm probably not going to be getting it on PlayStation. I'm getting Disney, Dreamlight Valley, but I don't know what I'm going to be doing with that, because I would say, oh, I could get it on PlayStation and stream it, but the last time I tried to stream something as complicated as that, it died, because I remember Balan and Fall Guys absolutely bombed, and I don't know if it was just the daytime or the internet, but I've got really bad internet here where I am. That's more reasons why I don't want to spend money on a computer, because the internet is just bad. So it's just sort of depressing, because it's trying to figure out what I can do. It's just so hard, because it's like, not saying that the world's against me, but it does feel like it when every little thing I try to figure out that gives me sort of happiness just bombs. But that's why I'm happy for like communities like the Minecraft community, because you can find people, because you can find like servers, so you can go and join people. Or like me with Pokemon, I go on Twitch and see if there's a Pokemon streamer up. But I'm particularly liking this particular one I watch, and just having his content with enough. And he's planning big stuff for when Scarlet comes out, so it's like, I don't need to worry about finding a new one for Scarlet, because one I used to watch, I think he's doing a marathon, like he did for the last couple. And I'm looking forward to that, because I always enjoy watching the marathons. And it just felt nice. The marathons, I don't know what it was, and I don't know if I'm weird thinking this, but just waking up and seeing them there streaming sort of at my convenience, because they'd be there all day from when I was up till I was awake while the marathon was on, and it was just lovely just jumping on and being like they're familiar, because it felt like I was communicating with people even though I didn't really speak, but it was nice. Obviously, you stopped streaming now for a while because of family reasons, so it's like, it's fine, disappointing because it's been sad without them there, but shit happens. And it's like, me personally, he's such a big YouTuber, I'm just a number on the sand, so it's like, I'm just a grain on the sand, so it's like, don't matter. They'd be happy that they'd made such an impact for me, but it was me. Anyway, getting over that. But I'm just excited for stuff to, like, I feel like stuff can get started, but as soon as Pokemon comes out, it'll be like exactly the same as when Arceus came out, or when Diamond and Pearl came out. It'll be exactly the same. I just wish I could stream it, but I can't. If there was other ways I could, and I'd love people to suggest it, but I haven't been able to figure. I need to stop pressing that button. I'm used to the triangle button being the run button. I just wish there was ways I could figure it out, but I haven't been able to figure it out yet. Without a decent computer, there is no way in hell you're streaming. But I just wish there was a way to stream on a Switch without a computer. Could even stream it on Twitch. Don't you need to do loads of stuff for Twitch, like read the comments and that? And to do prompts and stuff. But I guess if you want to be streamer where you do like avatars running around the screen or do like sounds and stuff, you need a computer. But I don't have one. No, can I get one? Because it's even like trying to find a PC. I have no money, and I do have money, but it's all going out to stuff. Because like stuff I've been watching, like that Crunchyroll account, it's like £96 a year for the proper premium membership, so you don't have to sit through ads and you can watch everything. So it's just everything's built on money, and it's so depressing if you just want to sort of find your standing. Like for me, it's really difficult because it's like trying to find sort of a normalcy in a weird world where if you don't work, you're sort of, because it's a long life just to sit around bored. Like every day, think of how many hours are in a day, and you feel every second tick by. It's just, ugh. Like an hour, 2 hours and a bit, I think. Stream. Actually, I can check one sec. Yeah, an hour and 30 minutes I've been recording for. That's really good for me, actually. I just don't know what I should do, because like I'm excited for games, but I don't know whether, without paying for it, and paying for a game twice isn't exactly beneficial either. But I also want to pay for a game and record a game I can actually play. Because buying, like, I don't know, I had Ratchet and Clank, but I've played for it. But streaming it might not go well. But I'll have to probably, I might do an easy stream where I just stream some of it and see how well the stream goes. And if that works, that'll determine whether I pay for it on Switch or PlayStation, Dreamlight Valley. Because I think that'd be fun to stream, because it is such a goofy game. And I think it'd be quite popular. But it may be, I just hope it's not too hard. Because if a game's hard, that's where I physically get put off it. Because I know there is a game that I want to play and stream on here, but it's just getting around to pay for it again and then stream it, because it was Cult of Lambs was another game that's come out recently that I've been playing, and I need to play it, but I ended up streaming instead because the ending's been spoilt for me, so I need to quickly play it before I see the whole ending and then not really engage, because I find out as soon as I've seen the ending of a game, I do not want to play it, especially if it's slightly annoying me. Because I was excited to play Balan Wonderworld. I bought it twice even. Wanted to play it, got ready to play it, but because people like to power through the games to watch it, and I have no self-control, I watched someone play through the entire game on my phone before I even got home to play it myself. Played through half of it, then never touched it again. Because the platforming annoyed me. And it was like, So I knew what was going to happen, and I loved the ending, even though there was bits that confused me because whoever played through it, didn't make it clear, sort of what happened. Because I don't care that I'm spoiling it. No one gives an absolute hell about this game because it was an absolute failure. But it was something like you're in the dream world. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, it's like Sega's Knights. Which it is Sega's Knights, it's the same guy who made it, so of course it'd be like Sega's Knights. And you're a child running through the world, and you're in this sort of dream realm where... Is it a dream realm? Well, you're in sort of like this world where people have gone because stuff's happened and life's bad and they're sad. So they've gone to the theatre to sort of like get away from the worries of the world, to sort of let go. So then you have to sort of like help them fight their demons and sort of wake them up so they can get their sort of confidence back, to like shine the light on their bad day. So you've got to do that. So as you play through, blah blah blah, then the sort of the nightmare one comes in, who's sort of like doubt. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. It's something like Lance. Oh yeah, the main character's name is Balan, and then he's Lance. Balance. So you end up having to fight him near the end of the game. But it never made it clear what happened to Balan during all this interval. Was he aware that he is part of the same person? And does the character made aware that they are the same person? Because by the end, when you finish killing the final boss, yet spoilers for a game no one likes, you end up seeing that Balan is sort of like normal looking. He's not as emo-y or dark as he was before. He's sort of full of lights and smiles at you, and that's the only indication you get. And even near the end of the game, you see Balan without his hat on, and he's normal looking, and strangely enough looks exactly like Lance, but obviously not the same colours. And he just does a bow. With me, I like a story, so I was like, wait, where did he go? Where did he appear from? What the... And I was just majorly confused. And I know that's probably my fault for not playing the game, but I was so confused because it just seems like 1 minute you were fighting Lance and then trying to sort it out, and the next minute just suddenly I don't even know where Balan disappeared to, because it was like he just suddenly disappeared, and then you didn't see him after that, and then suddenly he just appears at the end like ta-da. And I just don't get what happened. And I've tried to watch like the cutscenes, I've even tried to watch gameplay, but it never made it any more English or clear to me. That was another selling point that upset me highly. The game wasn't translated at all into English, which isn't that hard to do because they have animes that do like millions of episodes that translate into English. And I don't understand why they didn't, because it just seemed like the main song at the end, they did have a version of it in English, and it had switched between the Japanese and the English one, but it just seemed like a major turn-off when most of the ads weren't even in English. And that is just making most people like it when they watch an anime, is that they hear it how it's supposed to be heard. But I don't know, I like being able to understand the characters, because if they make a joke, you read a joke, it doesn't always hit as much as when you say the joke. Villainous had that same effect on me. On honesty, I prefer the Spanish voice actors because they sound better, but I would like it in English, but I hate the English voice actors for Flug and Dementia. And I didn't like Penumbra either. She sounded really stiff. They all sounded somewhat stiff, and I don't know if that's just me used to the Spanish, but they just sounded stiff. And I know I've gone to another subject, but it's sort of in the same problem where it's how it's supposed to be heard. So of course, the fun issue came in. when Villainous was being animated, like most of the dubs and most of them, sorry, not dubs, most of the animating when it was being drawn, even, it was all done with English lip sync. So when the lip sync syncs better to the English than it does the Spanish, which I always thought was hysterical because most of the animators were American. That's why. But it still didn't match. Like, I remember one moment where Penumbra was saying, so the sun doesn't burn her alive, and then she flips her arms. But the lip sync didn't match at all to what she said, either in the Spanish nor the English. It just looked like she went blah, 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 and then just flailed her arms out. Which, it looks so sort of bad, and that's just me being a critic. Personally, I love the cartoon, and I think they did a really good job. Other than that, it was solid. And especially when the series came out, God, crisp and clean, those lines. Blackout looks so good in the series. The colour was solid, the grey outlines on his coat to make sure he looked as dark as possible was beautiful. Loved it. Looked great. Just didn't like the English voice acting, even when it was the dub. Didn't like it at all. It just made me feel uncomfortable. Flug's sort of... It just sounded so stiff. Flug talking was so stiff. And I know I'm being tight, but it just made me feel a bit But I loved watching it, because like seeing how it's built up, because I've watched it since the first little shorts were out. And then I watched it when the orientation videos came out, and then I watched it when the pilot dropped online, and then I watched it when the first series came out. So I've been around for quite a while. Not as long as some, because I never saw it when it was just a thing online. The original one, but I know what original Blackout looks like. Which I prefer the changes he's done to him, to be honest, because he looks so smooth now. Just, the colour's nice. He just, like, sort of, everything looks balanced, because the big question mark in the middle of his hat was a bit, And I know it's supposed to be a pun on his name he had at the time, but still. It's so warm in here, it's ridiculous. But most of the times when it was like watching the series or thing, I remember they made a joke about Blackout going out for lunch, and Flug just said it without doing any sort of movement whatsoever to himself. So when it looked like on me, to him just talking, and then it panned to a shot of Blackout picking a puppy out at a pet shop, it was like, oh, I don't know why he did that, because he said something in obviously Spanish, but he didn't sort of give any indication, like, because I more understood the show due to the body language of the characters more than actually me knowing what they were saying. So when I actually had subtitles to that comment, my reaction of watching it was like a completely first time watching it, because you understood my expression when I first saw that. I was horrified, because not only did he pick a puppy, he picked the bloody happiest puppy in the shop, because it actually was the one to come to greet him. But if you watch that, look at the picture, every other dog he could have picked from, he picks the one that looks at him, smiles at him, and then he picks it, because that's going to be his lunch. Because of course the happiest puppy is going to be the best one. I laughed so much but cried at the same time. That reaction was priceless. I found it so funny but so bad. It makes me laugh now. Oh, the time when, or the one where Flug was talking about his nemesis to the buff one. He said something along the lines of, the only nemesis he had was sort of an iPad. But again, that joke missed because language barrier, and then it just showed a pan to a shot with iPad. I can't talk now. With Blackett putting his finger for an iPad. Which I think we all feel like doing most days. But again, the joke missed a bit when you don't know what they're fully saying. But not that it ruined it for me. I still enjoyed the cartoons immensely. But then when I finally could understand some of the jokes, I was happy because it was like watching it again for the first time, which not a lot of people got to experience. Because obviously, the Spanish people got to watch it straight away and they got every joke and got it straight away, where I got to watch it, enjoy it, but then I enjoyed it again the second time when I knew fully what they were saying. So it was good. I'm just going to be a second, I'm just having a drink and my meds. My back's hurting me, so I have to fix it. And I turned my music off. Brilliant. Brilliant. I just restarted the CD. Oh well. I'm just excited for when I can actually, when more stuff will come out, because, like, I just love Villainous so much because I was big on Gravity Falls as well. I'm sure you know about my channel. But you didn't see the half of the amount of stuff I did for Gravity Falls. God damn. I cosplayed once as it, and I had a cult of kids following me around. And I dressed up in my Bill outfit. And I had a shirt and bow tie, little top hat and everything. And I went to Legoland. And loads of kids were sort of just following me around. And I even got to give some of them out because it was Halloween. So a lot of people were having sweets, and you were fully given permission, just saying this, to give out sweets if you had some to little kids. If they came up to you and said trick or treat, you could give them sweets. So my fun thing is, and I knew about this in advance, I bought absolutely tons of chocolate eyeballs. So there was little chocolate covered tin foil, like eyeballs, so I was giving them out, which a kid did know what I was dressed as and got the joke of the eyeballs, so I thought it was funny. I also had jelly teeth, so I was fully invested in it. It was good. But yeah, it was just like outside of the show, because you can enjoy a show and just watch it, like, I don't know, just any. But then when they do stuff outside the show, like Gravity Falls had all them secret codes at the end of every episode, or involved in the episodes they had like codes and ciphers and stuff to go through. It was great because not only did it engage the community in doing stuff together and further get the show talking, but it also got people involved who were like, oh, just dismissed it as a kids show, to get involved just because of the mystery behind it. And it was just such an engaging and great idea, because Villainous started doing something like that through the orientation videos. If people watch them, you can see flashes of stuff and codes through it as well, and they did it as well. And even though a lot of it was translated into Spanish, nothing Google Translate can't fix, and most of it was easy fixes. The grammar would be slightly skewy, but can't be helped, it works. You can get the gist of it, because I remember one where it was in the OKKO orientation video, which is my personal favourite. You can see these little men with flags at one of the intervals where he's talking, where I think it's the blue alien is talking to KO about something, and if you look quick to the right, you should see a little man with some flags. And obviously, to people who don't know, them are flags doing like Morse code sort of thing. It's a code flag symbolising something, and you see 3 of them. So obviously when you put them into track... Someone did a video for this, and I really liked him for it, because seeing that Villainous isn't such a big show that I just loved, because this person is the only person who did a video explaining all, like, the hidden messages and stuff, and they did such a good video. It's 2 parts, not too long. The majority of the second part is just because of this audio file that's on the website, which you can visit again. Again, Google Translate will be your best friend, even if grammar's slightly wrong. But it was just like, because even though it's a kids show, ignore that fact. Most of the times I forget it's on Cartoon Network. They had just loads of hidden stuff. Because not only did they have all the secret messages and stuff in the show, but most of the orientation videos, if you watch it, you'll see stuff flash up for a second, like the Black Hat Resort before the episode drops. And just some of it, they hinted at that one. I know in one of the ends of one of the episodes, you see a picture and it's of, like, a row of people, 5 of them, and some are blacked out with little hats on. And I think there's just one with all their eyes have been scratched out, and then a few have got hats on and a few haven't. Meaning the ones with hats are most likely dead. And that's when we find out at the end of it that I think it was Dementia who was doing that, but it may have been a sort of a working on an effort that all of them were working on somewhat. I think they were all in on it, because I doubt Dementia could successfully do something like that. So then again, I'm putting her down because she's actually smarter than she appears. Because there is one where I think it's the questionnaire one, and someone asks Flug how much would it cost roughly to take over a universe or something. So Flug's going for everything you need, and he's doing it on, like, this calculator typewriter looking thing, and he's there going on and on. So if you keep an eye on Dementia, 5 of 5 as an attempt, but not important. If you keep an eye on Dementia, she draws a picture of her and Black Hat together, and then writes something. But then when you pans to her again, just before Flug says the answer, you see her thinking, and then next minute she has an answer, where if you look at the answer and what Flug's saying, it's the same answer. Flug's had to calculate that all with a calculator. She did it in her head before he did. Admittedly, her answer's slightly off, but the thing is, she did that in her head. So I think putting Dementia down as an idiot is blatantly the understatement of the century. And I know she's obsessed with Black Hat, but there must be some logic to it. Because we're not even sure what fully Dementia is. Whether she's a construct of Flugs, which is a high theory, or whether she's just like a rogue, whether she was like a rogue villain or a rogue hero that's been brainwashed, because the fact that she's named Dementia could mean she's forgotten, which was a hefty theory. Because I know one of the theories a while ago, before like the pilot dropped, was it before the pilot or was it just after the... I can't remember, but it was before the series was out. One of the theories that I had and a few others had was that I still count this theory for Black Hat, but for Flug and Dementia I'm not sure anymore. But I count it as the hats were sort of parasites and would sit on top of human vessels. So whenever someone wore the hat, they had the personality of the hat. So Flug would be the paper bag, Dementia would be the lizard hood. But you see Dementia without the lizard hood. So that sort of snaps that theory out of the water, which is what ruined it for me. Flug, don't know, think it's personal reasons why he doesn't wear it. But then again, you see him with a bucket on his head at one point, so he didn't always wear the paper bag. So that debunks them two theories. For them two at least. But Black Hat, I still battle it if... To be honest, that's been confirmed for Black Hat. Because the audio tapes that you can find... I'm gonna butcher it. I'm not even attempting to say his last name, but his Olnado is the thingy, them tapes. You find out that there's this sort of person who's gone with a friend to this meeting thing, and they're all giving out hats, and he takes one. And he starts seeing this shadowy figure following him around in the middle of the night and he gets spooked by it, he starts to deteriorate more and more and talking about seeing shadows and things. But as you're listening to the audio tapes, you hear him comment that he feels like he's not alone or something. And if you listen very carefully, there's a voice as he says it. You have to have this extremely loud. Like, I had to have this practically deafening me to hear it. And there was a voice saying, like, you're not, or it just said something like it symbolising he wasn't alone or he's being listened to. And I can't remember how it went practically because it's been so long since I've listened to it. But it just said along the lines of he wasn't alone and whoever was with him was listening. But it ended up that with a bit of skips, he completely lost it and he started saying like he wanted to serve his master and just become the vessel, which he was talking about. So after he runs off after some drums start playing, you get to hear what is most like the most creepiest yet coolest thing for a kids show was you hear just this horrible roar and then Blackhat laugh, which clearly simulates, clearly says that he's took him as the vessel. And you even get further confirmation that this is the facts of the vessel, where if you watch the short where Dementia is winding 505 up about popping the ceramic egg, Dementia will walk up to 505 dressed as Blackhat pretending to scare him. Unbeknownst to her that it's actually Blackhat, not 505. If you watch as he's turning back, and literally you gotta do this by frames at some point, if you look at the bottom, you actually see a face, and it's actually the fella that... Oh no, it's actually him. You get to see his face, so it confirms that Blackhat does have him inside. Not only that, but Blackhat's like face shape matches his to a point where it's not a coincidence. Oh wow, we completely cleaned all the land out. Look at that. Whee. It's just really cool that a show that's technically for kids has gone so much in depth, and it's even gone to the point of where you'd class it as, is this really appropriate for kids? Probably not, but oh well. But that was just one of the coolest things, that it went into all this in-depth lore. Like, the majority of, like, all the signals, like, if you do watch the orientation videos, most of, like, the messages are, like, it's telling, it's what it is, it's a conversation between agents, like, the hero organization, trying to infiltrate, obviously, Blackhat's organization, and they're being stopped by... obviously Flog and Dementia, because there's even once where it flashes and it's Dementia's silhouette over the heroic sort of logo, meaning that they clearly know. And they've even said about, they talk about in one of the tapes that they haven't got long, and they even referenced all these theories and stuff in another video in the actual series, in the last episode of the new series, when before wrong person, before Dementia starts fantasizing about her and Blackhat's wedding, if you look in the back behind her and 505 as they're talking, there's a picture of two people dancing, which, if people know, was one of the websites where you have to go through that to get to the Blackhat website, or the dance terminal. And then there was also a missing picture of Ornado saying he knew stuff. So they're clearly talking about these things as canon. So that was really, really cool to see in the back. But the dance one had, it said that they can't dance no more right above it in sort of like spray paint. And it was just really funny seeing that in the back, because it's like, oh, the lore. Like, there's barely any episodes out of it, but there's so much more people already kind of know. And then going into like further inspection of what Black Hat actually is, why, like I'm saying, is some people scared of him? Like, you look at the lineup of villains that are sort of frightened of him. There's Aku from Samurai Jack. There's him from the Powerpuff Girls. Father from Kids Next Door. And it's like, Kramer, or whatever his name is, the Pop's evil brother, there's him as well, who's afraid of him. So it's like, why is Blackhead to bring out this fear in these such powerful villains in of themselves? And it's like, the list of people he's got connections with, I find it funny looking at the wheel of like the spider web of people he's got connections with, because you see like Mandy's the Cartoon Network company itself is there, which I thought was quite funny as well, and meta. It's just bizarre saying like how big of connections they have, because it was like so many like really powerful villains are just under his thumb. So it's like, what is he? One of my theories that I had when I was watching... Jesus Christ. One of the theories I had when I was watching something, and they were talking about black holes, and they was like saying that light comes in but can't get out once they go in. And it's the fact that a black hole is a collapsing star. I was like, a lot of Black Hat's power symbolises an eclipse. Like, when his monocle changes, when he's using his power, it sort of goes a fiery black, but it looked, at one point, I swear to not, when he was using his power, it looked like the surface of the sun with stars next to it. I'm gonna have to relook at that with a bit more looking at it, 'cause I can't remember when it did it. I think it was when he was making the wee knees do something, I think. And I just remember it looked like the surface of the sunlight, or the solar flares going off, and then stars. It looked like it for a second. Because like literally that scene lasted a second. And it was like, could he be like the embodiment of a dead sun or something? Or a black hole? Because that had matched the black. And the fact of, no matter what situation his hat is in, even in paintings, the hat is always black, regardless of... Because I think you see it during one of the advertisements for the company. Flug makes an ad. I think it was the anniversary video, actually. Can I remember there was a video brought out during the anniversary? Yeah, it was, because he references that this is as bad as last time. Yeah, a lightning strike happens, and it also is a bit of lore, and it says, it crosses Flug's face out, and it says, he won't let you know, sort of... And it crosses Flug's face out. But if you look at the paintings at the back as well during the lightning strike, you'll notice that the hats on all the pictures, regardless of everything else in the picture, the hats will always remain black. And I thought that was such a cool little detail as well. Because no matter what situation, his hat will remain black. And I'm just like, oh, I love this show. I want more of it. But sadly we're not getting more because it's so slow. I just hope that they haven't botched themselves, because last I heard they were going through a bit of a bad time, because it went something along the lines of this show got badly credited due to like not only neglect and abuse sort of thing, but they use abuse so lightly, but it has such an impactful word. They said there's something along the lines they weren't being credited even though they did work. And I don't understand, because surely a company as good as that with such a great community and things like that wouldn't treat their employees so badly. And I know they're villains and it's a joke. I don't even know if the fact it was villains and it was a joke at first, but it generally looks serious, because I saw something along the lines of it was serious, but I didn't take it as serious, because I was like, oh, the villains, he's getting shouted at for not treating them with respect, it's a joke. But it turned out it wasn't a joke, and it was a serious thing that was happening, and I was like, surely they're not just gonna ruin it for this. So it got flack for that. But I just hoped it was something minor and it does come back. But as far as I've seen now, they got mentioned in Victor and Valentino. Vincent and Victor or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. It was the other Spanishy the mom with the little boys running around. I need to watch that because Black Hat's apparently in it an awful lot. Like, they do a lot of sort of homages to it, or tributes, or Easter eggs. There's so many. Like, I remember, I think it was the last episode, they're in space fighting this cat thing, and you see Black Hat's silhouette in the back, which is just... I remember an old painting someone did of a universe and a moon, and it would look like just a galaxy at first, but when you looked at it more closely, you could tell it was Black Hat in the clouds sort of thing. Loved it. That so much reminded me of it. I can't believe I've been talking about this for over an hour. My eyes started watering up funny enough a minute ago, and it still is kind of, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's due to strain comes. I have a TV right next to me for my Switch, but my PlayStation is like at the foot of my bed. So I've not been using this TV an awful lot. Yeah, I'm fully crying. Why is my eye watering as bad as it is? I don't know. I am going to stop soon because I have been recording for an awfully long time. Once I've finished this, once I've got rid of this land and I've finished what I'm saying, I'm going to call it a day because I've done all this, so you can't say I've done nothing. And it's been recording for like over 2 hours, so I think I'm good. If I hurry up, I can finish it on the 2 hour mark. What was I saying? Yeah, I just really love this show. It's not just like the show itself that's kept it sort of alive for me, because I'm like, when I think of shows that I've like, why I'm not like watching them repeatedly, like Gravity Falls, 2 seasons of episodes, so much to watch and there's so much to see and do. It's done, but somehow Villainous has just caught my attention more, even though there's like 5 shots. They've got all the orientation videos, and there's about 12 of them. And then there's about 6 episodes for the series, and that's it. Other than a few ads as well. But that has kept me more like sort of in the loop with it more than any show. And I mean, Hazbin Hotel, that I had that and Villainous sort of, they're the sort of the closest cartoons to my heart. Like, if anything happened to them, that'd be it. I'd be so sad. Because I just love the development of these. Because it's like cartoons that break the norm, and it's showing that difference is good, definite. Because it's not the traditional hero-villain saga. It's villains are the good... Well, villains are our friends, sort of. We're following the villains. So it's a nice change of pace. Especially someone as different as like how Villainous projects it, because Black Hat is seen as this imposing force, because usually I can think of League of Super Evil when that was on CBBC. That was a good show as well, where you follow the villains, but they were just so dumb. Like, they were stupid, so it wasn't even like you felt like you were following them. But these feel capable. They feel like they can actually do things regardless of looking like idiots. And I guess that was the major selling point. They are successful villains, even though they do mess up every so often. But they're supposed to be. They do their job well, and that's their selling point. Everyone's scared of them because they're so good. And I know they sort of backpedaled that when they did the series. Again, underlining it's kids' show. Of course, they're not going to have the villains winning, because 1, that'd be boring, and 2, people like to watch them be idiots, because I say I'm amused by it. My only complaint with the entire show, more than the bad sort of English voice accent, which I'll just have to get used to myself, is the fact that Blackout, through the majority of the series, did absolutely nothing. The majority of the show, if you tell me how many times I saw his shoes, I could probably count twice. Because he just sat on a chair and read paper or watched TV, and that's all he did for the majority of the series. If he weren't shouting at Flug, basically almost put him on his knee at one point, or just shouting in general, or just looking evil, or doing something stupid, he generally didn't really do anything. The best moment he ever had was in the last episode you really got to see him, and that was the wrestling one, and he made a big spectacle of making a full stage just so one Flug could humiliate himself in. Dementia shows how loyal she is by taking off the mask that was supposed to possess her, to the mask's surprise as well, and to everyone else's. But all he did was insult the guy that challenged him to a fight, said no, made Flug do it, threatened Flug to get Dementia back once said mask had possessed her, and then when the fight was done and Flug couldn't get up because he was rolled in a ball, got off his ass finally, crowed about how well the fight was, hit Flug with his cane, kidnapped someone again, and then threw the mask at Flug again to get rid of it. So it was like, what? And then he finishes it off by getting on a horse. But that was the most he did in one episode. That was probably the most screen time he got as well. To say he's like main character, main sort of thing. The show angled on looking at Dementia and Flug and Five more than Blackout even, which majority of the time was really sad. Because I really wanted to see more. We want to see the true villain do stuff. But he's just going to be a grandpa that just sits on his butt all day. It's a bit meh. The other one that I would like to say is, I'm going to wrap up now anyway, so I'm just going to look at what I'm doing. I'm just going to go and have a look around and make sure everything's fine before I go. The other one was similarities between what he was doing in 505, and I don't know whether this actually has any solid concrete evidence or anything to sort of say whether I'm right about this, wrong, or whether I'm looking into something that doesn't have any light to it. But is the comparison of 505 and Blackout seem to do stuff similarly at the same time. So like, he's watching TV. Funny enough, 505 was watching the exact same show. But it was like, why would Blackout choose to watch such a kiddie show? Unless they owned like one channel. But it was just the thing of, they both watch the Wee Weenies at the same time, and this is my only evidence to the fact that they might have something a bit more concrete of they do stuff together, because obviously a bit of more of a common theory is that when Flug made 505, he used a bit of Blackout's DNA in the experiment, and that's how come he has like sort of similarities. So everyone's been dying to sort of see, because one of the things like was teased years ago at a convention-y sort of thing was that 505 is like a sort of, think of like a man-eating plant where it sort of peels away and there's an eye. It's hard to describe, but it's like it keeps its mouth shut with and has a nice law, so it looks friendly until it snaps up the prey, and that's sort of what 505 is supposed to be. But on that design, which I have got, he has teeth, which, who else has green teeth? I don't know. Main villain who looks, and he can't stand 505. Reading into the law and looking into sort of like, because there's a fact sheet that gets shown as well, but it doesn't, Flug hasn't specified it, nor has it been confirmed or denied, so it could be like, go into it sort of a bit more. But yeah, that's just a theory I've had for a while, that yeah, Because there's also the thing of 505 can actually talk. Because he got Black Hat Papa once, but then never again. So, God knows how that went. But yeah, I've been recording for 2 hours now, so I'm going to call it a day. Thank you for watching. I'll try and do a video, I think tomorrow even. If I get a chance, it'll probably be roughly... I don't know. It'll be later on, like 5, 6 o'clock. If it's not before then probably I'm not doing one. But thank you for watching, and thank you for coming by and saying hello to that one person that actually did. That was nice. Even though I have no idea who they are, but I'm going to look into that now. So, again, thank you for watching, and I'll continue talking tomorrow. Bye-bye.